Welcome to This Is My Architecture New Zealand. I'm Andre, and here's another Andre from Lancom. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, great to be here, thanks.
Can you tell me about Lancom and this solution?
Yeah, absolutely. So Lancom Technology, we're based here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. We're a technology provider, so think software development, cloud infrastructure, that sort of thing. And today I'd like to share this architecture we developed for a video conferencing solution that connects loss adjusters in the insurance industry to clients that are making insurance claims. So basically what the application does is it connects those loss adjustment agents via a remote video call that's facilitated by a custom web app to clients that are connected just through their phone, sharing that video stream through their camera. And it allows them to perform remote assessments of any damages relating to that claim.
Perfect. So you get agents connecting to the clients. How do you actually connect the video? How does it work?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got our two sets of users, and they both connect to a video platform called OpenVideo. It's an open source platform that is hosted on EC2. So OpenVideo facilitates those video sessions and using a protocol called WebRTC. And it allows the agents to view those damages just through the camera on the client's phone and assess those damages. So once the call is finished, a recording of that is saved onto disk on the EC2 instance. So we have a little script that's just running here, and that will pick up those raw recording files and upload them to S3, where they can be later processed.
Now you have saved the video to S3 and you need to process them. So how do you do that?
So what we do is when the files are uploaded to S3, that triggers an event notification to SQS. And those messages are polled by a service running on ECS Fargate. So what the service does is it takes the raw files that are uploaded to S3 and processes them with a tool called FFmpeg. So that tool will combine the audio and video streams of both parties and produce an output that is encoded to a more consumable format called HLS or HTTP live streaming. And then those processed files are uploaded back into S3. So we've got our video files there, and they're saved to S3 for later review by the loss adjustment agents.
When I work with my insurance company, I usually call them during the business hours. How do you handle the peaks and the highs and the lows?
Yeah, so of course, these companies have times of peak traffic where there are many sessions ongoing, and so lots of recordings to process. So we've leveraged the scalability of Fargate to handle this. We have auto-scaling policies that look at the size of the SQS queue, so how many messages are waiting to be processed. So as that number increases and we have more messages coming in, we are able to scale up the number of tasks automatically. So that number of tasks increases and we're able to process those videos faster and reduce the amount of time that the loss adjustment agents are waiting to review their videos.
And then can you then scale down if you need to as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So when the number of messages goes down, or in the case of some small businesses outside of business hours, it may even go all the way to 0, and we can scale that all the way down to 0 as well. So that really saves on the costs there.
I love the flexibility for the big and small businesses. That's a good benefit of using Fargate. I see it in the same time you're also using EC2. Can you walk us through what made you choose different technologies?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've leveraged Fargate where we can, and the benefits that it provides as being a serverless service. But in the case of OpenVideo, it supports a EC2-based deployment. That's the option that we had to take. And so we were able to utilize this sort of flexibility of the EC2 platform to support that part of the architecture and deliver a complete solution.
I can see that being a lot of videos where all the agents are connecting. How do you make sure that you manage the storage cost for the platform?
Yeah. So you can see we've got S3 Glacier here. What we have is essentially some lifecycle policies that will allow us to reduce those long-term storage costs. So there is a lot of data. When we're processing, we're actually outputting multiple different resolutions to support dynamic playback. But those processed files then can end up being sort of up to 2 times larger than the raw files themselves. So there's a lot of data to manage, but it's important that we retain those recordings in the long term for legal reasons. So to manage those storage costs, after a certain amount of time has passed, we delete the processed video files. And then for the original raw recordings, we migrate those to S3 Glacier. and that really reduces those long-term storage costs. And then in the event that we need to restore any of those archived recordings, we can simply take that raw file and put it through the same process again and restore the video to its original state.
Now, that's a perfect use case for Glacier when you can store the raw file and then process them again if you need to. Well, thank you for sharing this architecture and particularly the details that made you choose between Fargate and EC2.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's great to share our experience with AWS.
Thank you for watching. This is My Architecture New Zealand.